I'm playing Uther with a U, not Arthur with an A, because Uther with an U goes U, not R. Uther Pendragon, who is Arthur Pendragon's father, and is basically noted in history as being a drunkard and a really crappy king.
Typecasting, that is it?
Yeah. But they've put a spin on it. They've changed all that because he basically is the underbelly and the sort of the darkness of the kingdom, and he's basically what opposes Merlin and Gaius and all the forces of magic that are trying to sort of to make them, to bring magic back into the kingdom, and Uther is not having any of it. He's got his reasons. Basically, Giles was there for all the exposition. Giles was all right, but Giles had a dark side as well, which people liked. But with Uther, they were at pains. They didn't just want somebody who is sinister and dark, and because there are lots of elements to this story, and Uther is just a misguided king. He basically, 20 years ago, something happened which changed his mind about magic. And everything that he's like most, he's not really a despot, but he rules with a rod of iron. And he basically, but it's a multi-layered character, which is what I really liked about it. He's not just this despotic king. He's a father. He's also a guardian, Morgana's guardian. He's trying to teach Arthur the decisions that he's going to have to make, and it's a rough and brutal time that they've come out of, and he's shaped the kingdom into what it is. But he and Arthur are constantly coming up against each other. He and Gaius, played by Richard Wilson, because Gaius basically helped him stamp out magic in the kingdom, while Gaius is very much part of that world. So it's an interesting. There's lots of conflicts which make it interesting to play. He has his reasons. Basically, 20 years ago, something happened that he involved magic in something, and it had repercussions, and he blames those who perpetrated the magic, and basically he feels that it's a dark art, and that it can only lead to sorcery and evil and bad things. Morgana is, right from the outset, I say to Gaius, she's not an easy child. I basically, in this tale, I have fought alongside her father in many battles and promised him that if anything should ever happen to him, that I would take care of his child. And he has a very, we haven't seen it yet, but he has a very bloody end, and I do take her under my wing. And I treat her as one of my own, but she's constantly kicking against me and constantly undermining my authority. She's like the never grew out of that sort of very rebellious teenage thing that I'm glad to say I've not experienced. Both my daughters are really, really lovely. But I know that in some cases, it's hard work, and she's hard work. I'm seeing him learning lessons of about caring and about taking care of people. That, as I say, Uther is it's, you know, as far as he's concerned, his primary concern is that, you know, is to keep Arthur safe as heir to the kingdom. So therefore, there are things that, you know, Arthur suddenly throws himself into the fray to save his friends, and Uther's not having any of it. I think it's the interesting thing where you know what's going to happen, and at the same time you have no idea in this scenario. The fact that is you have perception of what's going to be, but at the same time you're watching how that grows, and the fact that things are not always what they seem. At the same time, you've got this conflict on so many levels, and conflict is what makes good drama. You've got humour, which carries you through those moments and sets you up for dramatic and thrilling moments, because it'll take you by surprise. You've got a fascinating kind of melange of cast. It's not your usual. It's not your usual obvious older actors and younger. You know, it actually has got sort of a real crossover. It's got pretty much everything I think you'd want from a TV series, and certainly, as I say, we've seen the first rough cut, and it took everybody's breath away, because we suddenly saw, you know, it's, if you've got good scripts, then all you really need is, you know, and it doesn't always translate onto camera. And in this instance, you've got people who are actually guiding it onto camera, who know what they're doing. And as I say, this extraordinary 7th or 8th character, this castle, that is just, it's just magic, absolute magic.